So hi there. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it today.
Thank you.
All right. So who are you and what drives you? Why are you at Trinity, etc.?
So I'm Lourdes Orondo. I'm from Venezuela. I'm an international student here, a freshman. I would say that my biggest passions are obviously international relations and politics, and also theater. So I have a lot of mixture there, like creativity and politics. And what brought me to Trinity was their study away programs, in the sense that they had communication with parts of the world that I haven't seen other universities offer me there. And I mean, also the financial aid they offered me in Venezuela, and that was like target. They gave me full aid, so I was like, of course I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Interesting. Theater and politics. Yeah, it goes together well.
Theater and some people say that politics are theater in itself.
Right. Okay. And have you come across the SAIL program here in Romulus Perez?
Yes, I have come across it several times.
And how was it introduced to you? How did you hear about it?
So it was introduced to me like during international orientation. Some of my friends told me like, look, there's obviously like Greek life that's happening, but at the same time there's alternatives that you can go to that give prizes out. There's a trivia night that was introduced to international students on the first week, and they told us like that happens all the time. And then there's karaoke, there's bingo, and you get a lot of prizes from bingo. So there was always like that incentive, like Greek life is not the main center of nightlife at Trinity. There's other options for those that are not really into like partying and Greek life and that kind of stuff.
I see. Okay. So this was introduced to you, and those are some of the explanations.
Yeah.
Did you ever take part of one of those programs?
I've taken part on around 4, 5, as far as I can remember.
Yeah.
Mainly trivias, bingo, karaoke, and despite the fact that they're really like soft and calm activities, you somehow end up enjoying yourself so much on them. There was also different things that were happening, like during Halloween, that there was like, oh, this haunted bus that's scary, and I was like, it's not gonna be scary, and actually you go in and they find a way to touch upon your fears. It was really interesting to see all the things that they have come up with, from like little stuff that might happen all the time to theme stuff that you were like, okay, Halloween, never celebrate Halloween personally. So it was good to have that taste of like the spooky and the scary.
Oh wow. What do you mean by big stuff?
In big stuff, I mean in the sense that, you know, when you hire a bus that's literally like a maze inside of it, and you have all the campus that can come at any time, that's also a big thing. And at the same time with the bingo, you know, like there's a lot of prizes, a lot of them.
Yeah.
So to have that is like, whoa, like, I think everyone that plays bingo at least wins once.
Yeah.
And it's a very good thing because also the prices are randomized, and then you see people like swapping. So that's what I mean by big, you know, that such an event has such a big like space for prizes, for participation, for different activities also that take place. Because bingo usually is not like, oh, typical bingo, like one card, you know, they give some spin and then they're like, oh, now the prices are gonna be on the bookstore. They're gonna be like to help you with the books and you need to buy. That's what I've seen.
I see. Okay. So what was your favorite activity to date?
So my favorite activity to date has to be bingo.
Okay. Why?
I mean, it's kind of personal in the sense that back home, my family, every single Sunday, they would reunite together and play bingo, and then there would like be the typical bickering between family and the typical like jokes between them. And to see that happening and these were old people. I'm talking about people that are like 17, 80, 60. Then there's my mom.
Yeah.
Like 50.
We don't mention age, right?
We don't mention my mom's age. If she sees this.
Yep.
And then looking at, you know, young people that range from 17, 18, 19 to 22, 24, having that same kind of like behavior around such a simple game as bingo. It was funny because you also saw people coming together, you know, there were people that were not winning anything, and people were like, oh, look, I already have like 5 prizes, so why don't you have this backpack? I don't really need a backpack, you know?
Yeah.
So it was really nice to see that, not only because of the relations between people, but also the fun that it brought on a Saturday night for me.
Oh, a Saturday night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of them take place on a Saturday night or a Friday night,
Yeah.
but Saturday mainly because there are no night classes. So everyone is just like chilling. It's a Saturday for chilling.
Yeah. What made you decide to go? Good.
What made me decide to go is that I really detest Greek life.
You what?
Hate.
You hate it?
Do
Okay.
not like.
Detest. Okay.
Detest. In the sense that I think Greek life is a very artificial and overboard kind of thing that goes at Trinity, and then it has become a huge part of the nightlife at Trinity. And I know I'm not the only one that doesn't agree with this. And sometimes it's a cultural thing because there's people that come from families with a certain culture. I personally come from Latin America. I come from Venezuela, where parties go on for a long while, and there's legal drinking back home and stuff. And then I see stuff taking place here that might be legal, all illegal, and it just goes overboard, because there's a way of having fun
Yep.
that is having safe fun. And then there's a way of having fun that is just being stupid. And that's what I've seen on Greek life that has drawn me away from that, and having these activities that, we're gonna go ice skating. I didn't go to that one because I was sick, but that for me was like, wow, you're having people go to ice skate to escape what Greek life is. You're having people do karaoke, you're having people play bingo. That for me is beautiful because not only Trinity, but nationwide, I will say that Greek life takes such a huge role on what nightlife is, that to see it be like kind of put on the sideline sometimes, that's beautiful. Will I say that the activities that Sail does are like predominant and that they govern nightlife? No, but they honestly give a space for us that either culturally or personally, in my case, do not agree with Greek life, a space to stay away from.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you? What has there ever been an activity by Sail that you just said no to?
I mean, there's obviously been some activities by Sail that I'm not personally engaged by, but that's because I'm more of a community person. I'm more of a fun-based person. There's been some self-care ones, we're gonna have masks or doing stuff. And I mean, there's people that love them, and I've seen a lot of people go to those. Not for me.
Yeah.
I would just say that not for me. Some people have told me, you want to come? And I'm like, no, I'm not the kind of person to sit down and do a mask. Also, I have a lot of allergies, so maybe they put something on my face, and I end up looking like Kylie Jenner meets Angelina Jolie, and I don't want that.
Yep. All right. Are there any activities that you wish they did?
I mean, too much to ask with this weather, but I personally, I went to high school in a very far away place in India. That's a whole other story. But I used to be part of the Ultimate Frisbee team, so I wish that maybe during the summer, I don't know yet because we are right now in winter, but maybe during the summer there's more sports-based activities, we're gonna have Ultimate Frisbee going out in one of the quads. So
Yeah.
we're just gonna have outdoor activities, which is something that I see that might be valuable, despite the fact that they happen at night. But the quads are illuminated 24/7 at night, so it's
Yeah.
24/7 at night doesn't make much sense, but they're illuminated. And I think there's a place after the winter goes by to do more outdoor stuff. And honestly, I would be 100% down for it. Because I like the activities they're doing now, which are obviously restricted to indoors, very small, but also maybe something more outdoorsy, summery. I would love to see that. We'll see when the summer comes.
Yep. Okay. Do you have you ever done an event that had faculty there too?
So that's an interesting question because I've seen some faculty members appear once in a while, but that's because they are on the vicinities of the college. For example, one of the deans, I've seen him come with his daughter and play bingo with them or join activities with with them. But at the same time, I just feel that if a faculty is not close by, they just think that education stops the moment they leave the college, or education stops the moment that they leave the classroom. And I think that's just an issue with the way that higher education functions, not only in the US, but worldwide. Because I truly believe that a professor is a person. I'm a student, I'm also a person. Having an intrapersonal connection, seeing a professor engage with the kind of stuff that I engage with, that gives me a bigger motivation to study than to have that horrible person that treats you very badly in class just because they have a PhD that then leaves the door. They're basically like an educational robot.
Yep.
And in my own opinion, you feel that you're a very horrible educator. You might have a PhD, you might have all the masters in the world, and you might actually be a really smart person. But why are you teaching? You are not made for teaching.
Yeah. Have you seen that here?
Yes.
Can you describe that a bit? You don't have to name names or anything, but
I will name names, but I don't want to get in trouble.
yeah.
Um, it's happened to me that I just see some professors that, I mean, despite the fact that, I mean, my experience with one of my professors that I see that they are a really kind of harsh person to deal with, and they are really harsh in the classroom, and they are really harsh outside. But I also see them engage with the wider community. But I heard, because my professors are, I mean, some of them live very far away. They live in Massachusetts. Some of them live nearby. In my experience, my professors have been fine, but I heard so many stories of professors that are just continuously berating students, mistreating students, and then the moment of approaching them to ask a question, to ask something about the test or the class or whatever, just feels like a test to them. I just feel higher education right now needs a bigger humanity, in the sense that it's been very competitive in the US for a long while. I mean, that's one thing that students need to change and the system needs to change, but also the way that the professors make a class feel very strict and very ruling is something that also needs to change. I'm not saying I had that experience full-fledgedly. I did have a professor that they were extremely rude and chauvinistic at times. But at the end of the day, I also saw a willingness to engage and a willingness to change, which is something important. But I heard of others that do this but are not willing to change. Because I have a PhD and I have a master. Why should I change?
Yeah. Okay. So at the bingo event or another event, you saw a faculty member engaging as well? Or no?
Other than the bingo event, I haven't seen any other faculty member. I mean, the same dean all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not saying names,
Yeah.
but the same dean is always there with his daughters and tries to engage. And I see mainly deans of students engaging with this kind of activities, either by participating, by just being there. I'm yet to see a proper faculty.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe they have, and I haven't seen it myself. Maybe they have. I know some of them have come in the middle of activities, but in my experience, I only seen deans of students participating.
Okay. I know Romulus speaks a lot around performance arts and bringing some of that into these programs. Dancing with the Stars is one program, for example. So how would you feel about doing something uncomfortable, if you will? Well, when's the last time you did something that was risky?
I mean, I'm a person that I just love trying new stuff. Like I said, due to my experience that I went to high school in India, 17 years old, I applied for this program and they told you, go to India, you're gonna go by yourself, you're gonna be in an international community. I just feel that I am so willing to get out of my comfort zone that if someone tells me like, personally I'm very shy when it comes to dancing. I love dancing, but I get really shy when there's a lot of people and I'm like, oh my god, let's dance.
First person on the floor.
First person on the floor, I have to let food and I don't want to dance. That for me becomes really scary. I would be willing to do so. There was one activity that I don't know if it was with SAIL that was like all kind of obstacle course and stuff. And for me, doing an obstacle course where they timing you, where you have to put like a lot of physical strength into it. I'm not physically strong, and I did it, and then I saw like, oh wait, I was the first place with this person. I'm always willing to go out of my comfort zone. So if Romulus decides to listen to this activity, and I'm like, I don't know if I'll do it, maybe that's my personal goal to do, because I'm judging I'm questioning myself, and I'm judging if I would do it. It's better to get out of the comfort. My way of viewing stuff. I know a lot of people decide to not burst their bubbles. Another issue these days that we are so comfortable within our own bubbles that we are not willing to change and to open it and to burst it out.
Yeah. Okay, great. So with the 5 or 6 programs that you did so far, what's 1 or 2 things you learned about yourself?
Things that I learned about myself. I mean, once again, bringing back the bingo, I think, not I think, I know for a fact that I noticed within myself a lot more like willingness to engage, in banter, because it's something that I personally felt very disconnected with, but there was also like this friendly banter going on between people that were winning or not. And I was willing to engage. I think it made me realize that people are more keen to joking and to engaging and to having fun in these silly ways. That's something that I learned with the bingo. And another thing I've learned was with the trivia. And this is going to be brutally honest, but I truly think people in the United States need to get a little bit more educated, especially when it comes to outside stuff. In this trivia, there were a lot of questions about international stuff, and I have a team where everybody is a citizen of the US except for me, and I'm the only one that knows the answer. Or even general knowledge stuff that seems to fly over their head. It's like, or even English spelling. I'm not a native English speaker, and I've seen people kind of lacking that, and it's like, you've been speaking English your whole life. I've been speaking English about 7-8 years.
Well,
I get shocked.
You can also look at it like, I might have a strength here.
I might have a strength here, and obviously that makes me recognize my strength,
right?
But at the same time makes me recognize a weakness, because it's not only one person. You can see everybody in the room going like, like confused birds, like, what's going on? What's saying? Like, that for me was shocking.
Did you try to enhance your team?
Of course.
What's one example of how to make the team better now that you witnessed that or realized that?
One way of making a team better, is like, of course, it's a time thing. So you say the answer, you write it down, and you give it away. And then what I tried to do many of these times was like explain to my team, how did I know it? Where did I learn it? Or what was it? As simple as that. So in the future they will know it. And of course there were also questions that people helped me with. I mean, someone asked, there was one question about a brand in the US, and I know nothing about US brands, so they told me, it's this is a brand about it. And I go, wait, I actually own something that is from that brand. So it's kind of like giving and taking. And that's what I did. I did realize that I was doing more giving than taking in, but at the same time it taught me a lot about that team shape that needs to exist at times.
Excellent. Okay. Have you considered starting a program? Being a leader in a particular program?
Oh yes, of course.
Have you started one?
No. I thought of it, but I haven't had.
Which one would you do?
I would do Ultimate Frisbee. Why? Because Ultimate Frisbee is a gender neutral sport. Anyone can learn it. Anyone can practice it. Yeah. And it's just fun. It's Frisbee, so obviously there are risks of, trust me, I gotten hit on my classes and my teeth too many times to remember. But at the same time, it's such a fun and light-hearted sport that I was starting. Why haven't I started it? Academics have really taken over my time, which is something really hard to get away off, because yes, we are here to live an experience, but we're also here for the academics mainly. So it's really hard for me, especially as an international student, that I need to maintain a certain GPA to not be deported, to engage with that. And at the same time, I might be a really good frisbee player, but I do not know everything. I do not know everything that maybe a professional, a trainer, a coach might know. So there will also be that need of. I mean, I do come from once again, that's my experience in India. In my school, it was all student led, and everything that we learned, it was continuously passed amongst each other, and we were all learning from each other and giving to each other. So maybe that's something that can happen here. Will it be effective? Will I have a lot of people? Will I have the time? Questions to answer. I have another 3 years to do so.
Yep. Okay. Great. It's just turned into a new decade, and the people I've been interviewing, I've been given a special gift. I give them magic wands. So I want to give you a magic wand. When it comes to student programming, what would you wish for?
Should I be like good magic or evil magic? So if we came down, yeah, well, I wouldn't do the evil one because the evil one is like erasing something else. You might guess, but I will wish for more engagement from the rest of the student body.
And why is that important to you?
Hmm?
Why is that important to you?
Because I mean, I do feel like Romulus is putting a huge effort. I personally am a night owl. I've seen Romulus leave campus at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. after an event where he just stays talking to the students. Everyone knows Romulus and loves Romulus. And at the same time, I just feel like he puts so much effort to have a lot of people that come, in my view, is still a very small minority of the college. This college has a 2,500 students. How many are the people that go to the events? 100 or less? I mean, probably it's the Halloween one. A lot of people went, but bingo, trivia, and other stuff. You see a really small amount of people coming, and it's always the same people. It's always those that don't agree with Greek life, those that don't agree with the way that nightlife is being taken forward. So I wish that more people would engage with that, like different faces, different people that you will not expect to be in those activities, will stray away from that typical college nightlife party. Oh, let's get crazy and let's get
Yeah.
nightlife. And just have a chill night, a fun night where you don't need to be engaging with stupid stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Any closing thoughts?
Any closing thoughts? That until this interview, I didn't realize how important having these activities for people. Because throughout the whole interview, I've been thinking on the back of my mind how I haven't gone to some of them because I'm stressed or I'm doing a paper or I have academics. This is such an escape for people. Because once again, I also seen some of my friends, not all of them, I wish all of them. Some of my friends be like, okay, I went out to party last week. This week I'm gonna like do one of the programs, and they actually come back from the program. I'm like, I'm so glad I went. It was so much fun. You should have gone. Why didn't you go? And I'm like, I'm on page 12 of my paper. It's 20 pages. So I'm starting to notice how important it is to have that space to liberate your mind and to have a little relaxing moment.
Cool.
And I think that maybe on my second semester at Trinity, I'm gonna try to find that balance, because also that liberation of stress helps a lot with mental health, which helps academics, which turns into a huge snowball of positive things.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for everything that you shared and your time today.
thank you so much.
Okay.